Hello, my name is Victor, and in this video we are going to discuss the first part or section A of this paper. This paper was presented by KNEC in January as the sample paper for KJSEA, and this paper is meant to be a guide on areas that will be tested in KJSEA and how the questions will be tested. Now, we are going to do section A, question 1 to 20. Let me remind you the format. So question 1 to 20 will have multiple choices, so that you'll have a chance to choose A, B, or C or D. Then section B will have another 20 questions, but here that is where most of the marks will come from. So when you are discussing section A, I'm going to show you the working so that you're able to understand those topics, those testable areas. When they come in section B, you're also well equipped. So don't ignore this part and say, oh, it is just 20 marks. It is important to get the first 20 marks. And again, the concepts you learn here will also help you to answer questions in section B, because the same topics, numbers, integers, data handling and probability, all of them will be in section A and also in section B. Now, so what are some of these questions? Question 1 asks, Sarah recorded the following numbers in a field book. So she recorded a half, 5.5, 8, -8, and also recorded 0.6. So Sarah recorded a half, 5.5, -8, and 0.6. Now we are asked which of the following numbers is an integer. So which one of these numbers is an integer? Integer is counting or whole numbers, whether positive or negative. So integers, you exclude fractions. So here you have this one as a fraction is a half, 5.5, 0.6 is the same as 6/10. This also is not an integer, so the integer here is -8. The next question, 3 buckets have capacities of 16 liters, 12 liters, and 20 liters. The buckets were filled with water using a container. What is the capacity of the largest container that was used to fill each of the buckets in an exact number of times? So, this question, I know you already have the idea that, so you have this one is 16 liters, and this one is 12 liters, and this is 20 liters. Now we are saying what is the capacity of the largest container? So a large container that was used to fill each of these buckets. So you have this container that you are going to fill here with water exact number of times. You fill 16 liters, you fill 12 liters, you fill 20 liters. Yes, so you fill containers of 16 liters, several, maybe 3 or 4. These ones maybe 2, maybe 1. Yes, so what's the concept? The concept is that you are going to have a large container that this amount of water can be used to fill this bucket an exact number of times. So this one I was just indicating that it can fill this container exact number of times without remaining with any amount of water here. It can also be used to fill this exact number of times So exact number of times can be 10 times, this one can be 12 times. We are not indicating, we are just saying bora it is exact number of times. The amount of this water does not remain. Now, what's the idea is that you want to find a larger number than this. I know you have the idea of either it's LCM or GCD. GCD or HCF, this one is greatest common divisor. So it divides, so it is a smaller number than this. GCD is smaller, and we are looking for a larger amount, which is least common multiple. It's a multiple. So multiple is multiple of this, meaning it is larger. So between LCM and GCD, which one are we going to use? We need a larger number, therefore we are going to use LCM. So LCM of 16, 12 and 24. This is how we do it. By 2, 8. A common multiple here is 2, then 6, then 12. Then you also have a 2. This is 4, this is 3, this is 6. You have a 2, this is 2. This one is not divisible by 2, so you drop it there. This one is divisible, you get 3. You still have a 2. Then finally, you have. So what is your LCM? It is 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, times 2, times 1, 2, 3, 4, then times 3. I don't know whether it is visible. So LCM is equals to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, then times 3. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16 times 3. 16 times 3 is 4 because of 64. Sorry, because of 24. So it is 54. 16 times 3. Sorry. This is 18. This is 18. Carry 1. So it is 48 years. 16 times 3 is 48. So your answer there is 48 liters. Question 3. A farmer harvested 2, 4, 8, 6, 7, 1, 2 pieces of pineapples. What is the number rounded off to the nearest 100,000s? 100,000s. Now, you need to come here. This is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, and this one is hundreds of thousands, and this is millions. So you are told to round off to the nearest 100,000s. 100,000s. So to the nearest, this one. So your answer needs to have this. The answer needs to have hundreds of thousands. So what then? You are rounding off to this point. Either you remain with 4 or it becomes 5. So you are going to round off what is behind it. You want to convert this so that your answer, the highest figure, which is not 0, is hundreds of thousands. So therefore, this one is above 5. So it's at least 5, is above 4. You round off to the next number. So you add 1 here. So your answer is 24. So pretty easy. The price of a liter of petrol at a petrol station was Kenya shillings 199.08. So you are asked, David wrote the price to two significant figures. Two significant figures. Which of the following is the price to two significant figures? So we want, clearly this is 199.08. So when we round off or we write to two significant figures, we do not want to change the value. So choice A and B are wrong. When you say it is 19 shillings, it is wrong. When you say 20 shillings, it is still wrong, because first it has altered the price. However, you are left with choice C and D. Choice C and D is talking about 200 or 200.0. Now, you need to know about significant figures, that any number that is not 0 is significant. Any number that is not 0 is significant. Why we study about significant figures, we want to know the value of zeros in a number, how it affects the number. So you have 200, the number of significant figures here, zeros after a significant number are insignificant. So this one is not significant. You have one significant figure. When you have 200.0, this one is significant, this one is significant. So how many significant figures do you have? 2. You need to learn about the significance of zeros in number and I have uploaded a video discussing significant figures or significant zeros. So 0 after a decimal is significant. That is something you need to note. And 0 between numbers, for example 200 and 2, these two are significant. Peter, question 5, Peter worked out a question on indices and got the answer as p squared. Answer is p squared. Which of the following is equivalent to p squared? So you are given several numbers there. So let us work out A. When you are given p raised to 4 times p raised to 2, the answer here is p 4 plus 2, which is p raised to 6. Let me demonstrate better. This one, p raised to 4 means p times p times p times p. Then times p squared means p times p. So all of this is p times p. P times p times p times p times p times p. So there is no difference between a large multiplication or a small one. I just indicated to show you the difference where I have expanded the two. So when I want to write all this as 1, is p raised to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So clearly this is not the answer because they want p squared. So A is not correct. B, you are given p raised to 4 divided by p squared. The answer for this is p raised to 4 minus 2, which is p raised to 2. So this one is the answer. Let me also demonstrate well. When you have p raised to 4 divided by p squared, it means p times p, which can be written as p raised to 4 divided by p squared, which can also be written as p times p times p times p over p times p. And then you would cancel by p by p by p by p. And your answer there would be p raised to 2. Easy? So this is, you need to know the laws of indices, that when you are multiplying, you add the powers. If the base is the same, you add these powers. That's a rule. And when you are dividing, you subtract the powers. Yes. And you can demonstrate with the real numbers. You can put 2 here or 3. 3 raised to 4 divided by 3 raised to 2. Do expand, naturally divide, and then you can also do this way and you find the answer is the same. C. We want to disapprove all the answers. C. So already we have gotten our answer, but we need to check whether there is any other number that fits this answer. So we have p raised to 4 and 2. So this is C. This one is p. Remember, this is a power, so it's a power of this. P raised to 4, then you square. So it's the same. You can open the bracket by multiplying. This one is 8, and it is wrong. We go to D. P raised to 4 minus p raised to 2. This one you cannot solve it. You cannot collapse it. You can only solve it when you are given the values of p. Like it is 2 raised to 4 minus 2 squared. You can only solve 2 raised to 4, which is 16, minus 4. There is no way you can write this in terms of p or 2 raised to something, 2 raised to anything here. You cannot collapse. So this one is wrong. It was put there to confuse you. So the correct answer is B. P raised to 4 divided by p divided by p squared. The equation of a line is given by, this is another topic you need to learn. The equation of a line was given by x 4x minus 3y minus 7 equals to 0. And you are told what is the gradient. When you are given such an equation of a straight line, and you are asked for the gradient, you need to rearrange the equation in the form y is equals to mx plus c, where m and c are constants, are numbers, so you have only y and x as variables or unknowns. Now, when you have this, you say 4x minus 3y minus 7 equals to 0. In other words, you are saying take all this to the other side, you remain with this negative 3y. So you have negative 3y equals this part. When you take negative 4x to the other side, not really negative, it is positive on this end, it has a positive here, it's only that it is not indicated. When you take to the other side, it becomes negative. What about this? It's a positive. When it is negative, when it goes to the other side, it becomes positive. So you have negative 3y plus negative 3y equals to negative 4x plus 7. So to remain with y, so that we rewrite in this form, you divide by negative 3, each number, negative 3. So your answer is y is equals to negative 4 divided by negative 3, the negatives cancel out. So you have 4 over 3 x plus, this plus is negative now, because positive 7 divided by negative 3, it becomes negative. So it is negative or minus 7 over 3. So this is the equation of the line we have. When you do that, did we say this is the gradient? So m, when you have this equation, this is the gradient. This is the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? When you have this grid, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. When you talk about the y-intercept as negative 7 over 3, it means the line cuts the y-axis at this point. Maybe it is going like this or like this. The direction can be determined by the the gradient. Anyway, for now, this is the gradient you are being asked. M is equals to 4 over 3. Or we say gradient. Gradient equals to 4 over 3. Either of these will be correct. So what were you needed to do? To rewrite this in the form y is equals to mx plus c, and then identify what is your m. Just identifying what is your m. Joel requires at least 20 minutes to walk from home to school. Let x represent the time taken by Joel to walk from home to school. Which of the following inequalities represent the time taken by Joel? So we are told x is the time Joel takes, and there is a 20 there. So you need to use an equality sign here. At least requires at least. What do you think? Does Joel use more than 20 or less than 20 minutes to go to school? Requires at least means that Joel needs 20 or more minutes. For example, he needs like 30 minutes to come to school, to walk from home to school, yes, or 45 or 1 hour, but definitely not less than 20, and 20 is included. Give Joel about 20 or more minutes, so at least 20. So what's the sign? We have this one is for less, and this one is for less, and this one is for greater. If you do not know how to use these signs, when you see this, it is like an inverted L, which is for less. So when already you know the sign for less, some teachers will tell you to use right or left hand, sir. But anyway, when you are looking at it, the left hand is like less. It forms the less sign. Others will tell you the right hand forms the more, this one. However, you can also look at it from this inverted L is less. So we have said Joel requires more than 20. Again, we have also talked about that 20 is included. You add that one. So x is greater or equal to 20. Question, that is question 7. Question 8 of the sample paper provided by KNEC. You are told that Otieno and Carissa bought pens, exercise books, and pencils at the beginning of the term. The number of pens, exercise books, and pencils bought by each were represented by the matrix. So you have 6, 13, and 3, 5, 12, and 4. So these are two people with 3 items. They have bought exercise book. They have bought pens, exercise books, and pencils. Sorry, pens, exercise books, and pencils. What is the order of the matrix? Anyway, that was not very important. It is important by them to know how they have been arranged. However, the question here, what is the order of the matrix? Order, not order of a matrix is given by or as given as row times columns. Number of rows, number of rows, number of columns. So in this one, rows go like this. These are rows, and these ones are columns. So how many rows do you have here? 2. How many columns do you have? 3. So that is the order of the matrix. Order of the matrix is number of rows times number of columns. Now, another thing that you can use to help you remember that is rows first versus columns when you are studying the grid, the equation of a straight line or plotting anything on the grid, you have learnt about this one, the y axis, and this one the x axis. When you want to give a point like this one, you give as x and y, x comma y. X goes like this, so you always start with this and then vertical, even on this case. So I'm just stating that these are unrelated, but you can use them to remember that we start with x, the rows, then you state what is going. Then for this one you don't put amount at times. Example would be a point 2, 2, which would be located here on 2 and 2 here. If you have a point 2, 3, you'd have these 2, then on this side 3, you come here. This is the point. But when you have a point 3, 2, you'd come and count here 3, then 2 on this end. It is important to understand that we are starting with the x. This is x, this is y axis. I have used an unrelated concept to help you remember something there, which is a good way of learning. You try to relate the concepts you learn everywhere. Winnie placed a tube against a wall as shown. The top of the tube was, so you are given something like this. I know when I draw here, you might relate it better than where it is. So this is 2.7 meters, this is 3.6. Some learners will see the decimals and they'll be like, oh my god. So this is 3.6 meters and this is 2.7 meters, and this is the tube. You are asked, the top of the tube was 2.7 meters from the bottom of the wall, like I have indicated. This is a simpler version of what is here. The foot of the tube was 3.6 meters from the wall. Which of the following calculations will give the length of the tube? So you want to look for the length of this. We know this is right angled. We assume that the wall is vertical to the ground. So when you see this, you use the Pythagoras theorem, which states that if this is A, if this is A and this is B and this is C, we state that A squared plus B squared, this squared plus this squared will give us C squared, this one. But we want to find C, so we can do a square root for both sides, so that on this side we have C is equals to A squared plus B squared. Yes, there's no way you can, when you put this sign, you cannot solve this. You have to square them first, you add, then you do the square root. So our correct answer there should have been A. Yeah, 3.6. So to get this C, we'll have to say 3.6 squared plus 2.7 squared, then do a square root for all this will give us C. Question 10. Anne made a semicircular tablecloth. Anne made a semicircular tablecloth. The diameter of the tablecloth was 4.2 centimeters. She binded the edge of the tablecloth with a ribbon. What was the length of the ribbon used? So what's the shape of a semicircle? Semicircle looks like this. And here is the center of the circle. So this lady made a piece of cloth and then used a ribbon to to cover the edge? Is it to bind the edge? So she's binding that edge with a piece of ribbon. So we are asked, what's the length of the ribbon? So what's the length of this ribbon? It is the length of this from here going around even here. So in other words, we are being asked for the perimeter. You can talk about perimeter, or the circumference. Circumference we talk about a circle. Half circumference here, then you add this. You have to remember to add this. The diameter is 42 centimeters of this length. So how do you find this? We know circumference for a circle is pi d. So this one gives you the whole. But when you want just a half, just going this way, you have to add a half pi d. Okay? So the length of ribbon should have been a half pi d. It should give us here up to there. Then you add the d, the diameter. So a half times 22/7 times 42 plus 42. Then you solve that and you get your correct answer. By 2, 1 by 2, 11, by 7, 1 by 7, 6. This is 66 plus 42. And the answer there is 108 centimeters. That is the length of the ribbon. Question 11. A milk company sells yogurt in cylindrical cups. Each cup has a diameter of 7 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. The company sold 385 liters of yogurt. How many cups of yogurt were sold? So a company sells yogurt in cylindrical cups. So we'll assume these cups are in cylinder. Each cup has a diameter. This one is 7 centimeters, the cups, and the height, this is 10 centimeters. So we are asked, the company sold 385 liters of yogurt. How many cups of yogurt were sold? So in other words, you are told to take this and divide by this and find the number of cups. Alright, so to find the volume of, you first need to find the volume of this. Volume for a cylinder is the area of the base times the height. Area of the base times the height, which is pi r squared h. I insist it is area of the base times the height because we use it many times. Even when you have this type of container, I don't want you to cram formulas. This is length, width, and height. We know volume is length times width times height. What is length times width? It is the area of this base. Length times width is the area of this base. Then you multiply with the height going up. So volume is pi r squared h. This one is pi r squared. D is 7. This is d. So r is 7/2. You divide diameter halfway by 2. This one is 7/2. So pi r squared is 22/7 times 7/2 times 7/2 times the height, which is 10 centimeters. So we can divide now by 7, 1 by 7, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 11. By, can decide to divide by 2, then by this one by 2, by 2, 5. So your answer here is 7 times 11 times 7 times 5. For ease of calculation, I have assumed it is this times is 35, then 35 times 11, which is 35, 35. 5, 8, 3. Alternatively, at this point, instead of dividing the 2, you should have left it at 10, so that you have 7. 11 times 7 is 77 times 10, 770. Then divide by 2 because you had these 2. The answer is 385. So 385 what? Centimeters cubic. This is where now I insist students should write the units. So if you don't write the units well, you might take this divided by this directly, because now we have found the volume of this container. So the answer here is 385 centimeter cubic. We said number of cups is equals to 385 liters divided by 385. So this one divided by this centimeter cubic. You need to convert them to the same unit. The easier one is to convert liters into centimeter cubic, because 1 liter is larger than 1 centimeter cubic. How do you know how to convert? Again, I wouldn't want you to cram. If suppose this container of ours was 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, and 10 centimeters. When you multiply this, the volume would be 1000 centimeter cubic. This is the unit that we use to convert that. 1 liter is equals to 1000 centimeter cubic. Another unit that we are not going to use here but we can need is that I think that one you can convert it later, about meter cubic and others. Anyway, I think it's 1000 liters is equals to 1 meter cubic, and 1 meter cubic is equals to 1 million centimeter cubic. So you can write this and try to figure out why the conversion is the same, especially for this, because 1 meter, if this one was 1 meter, I don't digress so much, but if this 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, it also means it is 100 centimeter. 100 centimeters make 1 meter. So 100 centimeter, 100 centimeter. Multiply this times this times this, it will give you 1 million, centimeter cubic. 100 times 100 times 100, you add the zeros, there are 6. It is also the same as 1 meter cubic. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate here. However, this one you need to understand. There's no way you can demonstrate using this container. However, this one is true. This one is also true. This one is what you can demonstrate. So, to convert to 1 liter is equals to 1000 centimeter cubic. What about 385 liters? It will give you, you cross multiply. You multiply by 385 over 1. The answer is 385,000 centimeter cubic. And so therefore, now that you have this, your answer is 385,000 centimeter cubic divided by 385 centimeter cubic. The answer is 1000 cups. Because each cup, we had looked for its volume here. So this is how we are supposed to write. Let me wrap all this, what is unnecessary for this question. So this is what was necessary for this question. we go to the next question. Nyaboke walked from her home to the market. She walked at a speed of 4 kilometers per hour and took 30 minutes to reach the market. On her way back, she took 40 minutes to reach home. What was Nyaboke's speed on her way back? So we'll assume this is home, this is market. She walked at a speed, so going speed is equals to 4 kilometers per hour, and time she took is 30 minutes to reach the market. On her way back, when coming back, she took time 40 minutes. So we are being asked about the speed. What was the speed when coming back? So you will note we are not given the distance here. When you want to find anything here, you need speed is equals to distance over time. You need at least to get two things. So we are looking for this, the distance. What is the distance so that we are able to solve this question? To get the distance for this question, you need to use this one because you already have speed, time, but you don't have distance. Using this formula, you can make distance the subject of the formula. You multiply by t, this one cancels. So d is given as speed times time. When I put a decimal, sometimes it means multiplication, especially when there are unknowns here. 6 times t. Now, you need to convert this into hours because you are working with kilometers per hour. So this is a half hour. So distance is equals to speed 4 times a half. The answer is 2 kilometers. So this is 2 kilometers. So you can come here and say distance is 2 kilometers. And you asked for the speed. We know speed is equals to distance over time. This time can be written as one in terms of hours. So 40 over 60. 40 minutes over 60 minutes, which is 4 over 6 or 2 over 3 hours. 2 over 3 hours. This is 2 over 3 hours. So what is the speed then? It means you have 2 to divide by 2 over 3. You can write it better. You say 2 divided by 2 over 3. When you are dividing a fraction, you know, you reciprocate. You change into multiplication, then you reciprocate. What is the denominator becomes the numerator. So by 2, 1, by 2, 1. So the answer is 3. 3 what? You are looking for speed. Kilometers per hour. Now, so that is the answer. However, you can interrogate and ask. So when she was going at 4 kilometers per hour. She took 30 minutes. When she was coming back, she took more time. So her speed needs to be slower. When you're taking more time, for example, when you're going somewhere and you want to take less time, you go fast. So that is why she took less time when she was going. She was faster. 4 kilometers per hour, well, this is 3 kilometers per hour. Question 13. Moeni measured the temperature of a liquid as 48 degrees Celsius. Which of the following calculations gives the correct temperature in Kelvin? We know that when you want to convert degrees Celsius to Kelvin, what do you do? So when you are converting from degrees Celsius to Kelvin, you add 273. So when you have 48 degrees Celsius, your answer in Kelvin would be 48 plus 273. The correct answer there you can start with either, as long as it is 273 plus or 48. So this is the correct answer. Not minus, not divide, not multiply. It's addition. A shop allowed a 10% discount on all items. A shop allowed 10% discount on all items. Ahmed bought a shirt at 720 shillings from the shop. What calculation gives the marked price? So you have marked price, you have discount, and you have selling price. Selling price or buying price. From the point of the seller, it is the selling price. In this case, remember, selling price and buying price are totally different in calculations of profit and loss. But let us talk about buying price because we are talking about Ahmed. We are not talking about the seller. Buying price. So here it is provided as 10% discount. You are told that he bought the shirt as 720 shillings. So he must have the marked price must be higher than what he paid, because discount is something that somebody cuts from the marked price and then you pay less. You pay less from what was initially the marked price. So you have several choices here. To get the marked price with this, you know that we assume this is the 100%. So it is 100% plus 10% multiply by 720. You multiply by 720 to raise it. This is 100 over 100 plus 10 over 100 times 720. This is 110 over 100 times 720, which means it is 1.1 times 720. This one will give you a higher price than 720. So the correct choice was B. A is wrong because they are saying you subtract. That's why they are getting 0.9. If you multiply, it will be lower. The other choices do not make sense. Question 15. Question 15. We have done question 15 in another video. However, we can redo it. There's a video that I did that is on polygons. That video, if you have a problem with this question, I would really advise you to go and check that video and see the many questions we did there. Now, the base of a liter bean is in the shape of a regular pentagon. So this has 5 sides. This has 5 sides, and you are asked for this value. Determine the size of the angle marked Y. So to get this, you need to find the sum of interior angles. Then Y is equal to sum of interior angles divided by 5, the number of sides, because they are equal, all the sides. So how do you get the sum of interior angles? I would give you the formula, then I give you a tip on how you do it. So sum of interior angles is given by 180 n minus 2. This is a formula that has been derived also in that video. So 180, how many sides are these? 5 minus 2. 180 times 3. This is 540 degrees. So to get the size of one angle, you would take here 540 divided by 5, and the answer would be 108 degrees. 108 degrees. So that is one method. Another method would be you want to divide all this. If you do not know this formula, and I hope you do not get there, but it is important you know, you can divide this and count the number of triangles in it. So if this triangle, the interior angles, when you add this plus this plus this, it gives you 180. What about if you add this, and you add this, again you add this, and this. So this is 180, 180, and 180. So it is 180 times 3, which is what we have done here. So what you have noted is that this 5-sided figure has 3 triangles. So this formula, as I have explained in another video, shows that the number of triangles in a figure is equals to the number of sides minus 2. For example, if you have a triangle, it has 3 sides. 3 sides. So how many triangles are in it? You minus 2. You get it as 1 triangle. What about a 4-sided figure like this? 4 sides minus 2 will give you 2 triangles. This and this. What about 5-sided figure? 5 minus 2 will give you 3 triangles. And then you use this formula. I hope now that question is well answered, and I would again encourage you to watch that video. Question 16. I had a protractor around. I'm sure I have misplaced it. So I'll not waste time on this question. However, when you take a protractor, you make sure you are being asked, the pole is erected on a flat ground, it forms an angle ABC with the ground. What's the size of angle ABC? Use a protractor and read from this end. From the side it reads 0. So don't start reading from the point 360. So when you do, this is 85. I checked yesterday, it was 85. It is not 90. This is 85, this end. Make sure you don't read this as 95. We are looking at ABC. Question 17. Question 17 is a graph question. What are the coordinates of point R? So here you have point R and you are being asked for this coordinate. As I had indicated earlier, I think, in this video, when we are talking about the order of the matrix, question 8. Question 8, we said we start with the x-axis. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. So this is 1, 2, 3, at point 3, and then -1, -2, -3. At point, this is -3 here. This is R. So we said you start with x, then y, when you're giving the coordinates of a point. So point R, its coordinates are, you start with x, going this way, 3, comma, then you go this one, -2. So your answer is 3, -2, which is B. Question 18. A surveyor wrote the length of a piece of land as 70 meters. She represented the length as 2.8 centimeters on a map. What was the scale used on the map? So the land is 70 meters. the length, 70 meters. However, she wrote this 2.8 centimeters. When you have a map, we cannot possibly draw the exact 70 meters on any piece of paper. You can imagine 70 meters, assuming one step is 1 meter. So you want to draw the exact size, it will not be possible. So that is why we use scale. We use this scale. So we are being asked what's the scale on the map. So it is 2.8 centimeters is to 70 meters. You need now to convert these 70 meters into centimeters so that you can simplify to have 1 is to something. So 2.8 is to what? 70, 700, you multiply by 100, 70 then times 100, so that is 7,000 higher. So you need to simplify this to get, so you can divide it by 7, this would be 0.4 is to 1,000. Then you can multiply by 10 both sides to eliminate the, we could have started with that to make it simple for you. Multiply both sides by 10 so that on this end you remain with 28 times 10, 28, 70,000 times 10 both sides. Then divide by 28, divide by 28. It is 1 is to, by 7, 4, by 7, 10,000, by 4, 1, by 4, 2,500. So this should have been the answer. So the point is to convert them into the same unit, then try to make this side to be 1. Yes. So it means 1 centimeter on the map represents 2,500 centimeters on the actual land. Question 19. A painter placed a 3.2 meter long ladder at an angle of 30 degrees with a vertical wall. What was the distance from the bottom of the ladder to the foot of the wall? So, a painter placed so this is the ladder. So a painter placed a 3.2 meter long ladder at an angle of this angle, the angle of the ladder with the vertical wall. This angle is 30 degrees with a vertical wall. What was the distance from the bottom of the ladder to the foot of the wall? So I'm being asked for this distance. What is this x? What is this point? So here you're going to use, I hope you have learned about SOHCAHTOA, which sine is equals to opposite of a hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent of a hypotenuse, then tangent opposite of a adjacent. So when you are given this and you are asked for this, you are going to ask what is this in relation to this angle. This is opposite, this is adjacent, this one remains hypotenuse all the time. However, these ones change with your angle of reference. From here, this is opposite. So you want to use a trigonometry function that uses the opposite and the hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse is this. So you have sine 30 degrees is equals to opposite x over 3.2. So what is sine 30 degrees? Sine 30, when you use your calculator, it should give you a better half. but I'll confirm at the end of this video. I'll check on my phone. I don't have a calculator right now. However, so suppose this is a half. A half is equals to x. I mean 0.5. Let us use what you'll find in your calculator. X over 3.2. So what is x? X is 0.5 times 3.2, which is like 3.2 times a half, or divided by 2, which is 1.6 meters. So in other words, we are saying this point is 1.6 meters. Now, the last question. I will not write this. You can just look at this question. You are asked the number of fish, which this is the last question we are doing in this video. The number of fish sold by a fishmonger was represented in a bar graph as shown. Sorry. On which 2 consecutive days did the fishmonger sell the highest number of fish? 2 consecutive days. So the days must be consecutive, like Monday and Tuesday you add, or is it Tuesday and Wednesday, or was it Wednesday and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday? So the number of fish sold on Monday is 10, on Tuesday is 20. So Monday and Tuesday the fishmonger sold 10 plus 20, which is 10 plus 20 is 30. So you can write here Monday and Tuesday is 30 fish. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, 20 plus, this must be 12. You need to be able to read this, because each box represents 1, the small box. So 2 boxes represent 2. So 20 plus 12, that must be 32. Tuesday and Wednesday is 32. What about Wednesday and Thursday? 12 plus 5, that is 17. Wednesday and Thursday is 17. What about Thursday and Friday? Thursday and Friday is 5 plus 25. This must be that. This is that. So, which 2 consecutive days the fishmonger sold the highest? This is Tuesday and Wednesday. Choice A, Tuesday and Wednesday. We have come to the end of revision of section A of this paper that was presented by KNEC to schools to help students revise well KJSEA 2025. So I've done question 1 to 20. So I'll upload another video where I'll do the other questions. Thank you for watching. Please share with your colleagues and subscribe to my channel so that we can continue to engage and present you more questions, and so that you also can be able to be notified when I upload more content. So subscribe and turn on the notification bell.